Everyone, sorry about the 5-minute delay. Okay, first item on the agenda is Berry flood hazard mitigation. And Rob, I see you have Michelle Lax here with you today.
Yes, Michelle Lax is another project manager with Dishes, just joining for visibility.
Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you.
All right. Very good.
Yes, yeah, the update on this project is that I'm working through the report. I've reached out to the consultants about finalizing recommendations, and we're moving along with our proposed schedule of a presentation to the town later this fall, with a review by Dishes as soon as the presentation is ready, but before review by the public.
Sounds good. And I think as on our last monthly check-in, we were targeting the end of this month for the draft, the final report submission, or draft report, if you want to call it, to Dishes. Is that still the timeline that we are moving forward with?
I hope so. I think that largely depend on how quickly the consultant will turn the presentation around. I shared the schedule with them, and they didn't have any objections, but if not by the end of this month, I think we're working within a 1 to 2 week window, plus or minus, on the proposed schedule.
Okay, sounds good. So we are nearing the end. That's exciting. The other item, Joe, I think we discussed was the BCA development deliverable that was ongoing, currently using soft cost that we're going to be refined in the upcoming LKMA meeting with the town. Was that meeting able to happen? Any updates on the BCA deliverable?
No, it's largely dependent on the final recommendations. So as we get more clear results on those designs, we'll be able to sharpen the numbers for that analysis.
Okay, understood. Yeah, and any technical assistance needed on that, Dishes does have a BCA specialist available. So once you are ready for that, or need any reviews or feedback on that, I'm happy to coordinate that with our Dishes BCA specialist.
Noted. Thank you.
Awesome. Any reimbursements expected from the town that Dishes should process?
You were working on that.
Yeah, I mean, I only have like 2,700 I could submit for. I think we were holding off because I thought you said that LK had to submit more. Yeah. So I can either do that small amount or wait until we have a larger amount.
Okay, yeah, no, I'll defer to the town on when they'd like to submit the reimbursement. If there are expected invoices coming in, then include those and send in those drafts, and I'll be happy to review them and provide any feedback, and we can process them. Or the reporting period ends at the end of this month for Q4, so I will be reaching out at the end of this month to provide the draft fillable progress report. And we can also process the reimbursement at that point if needed. Whatever works for the town. I'm happy to coordinate as needed on that.
Rob, as far as timing goes for reimbursement, is it that we get you the reimbursement request before the end of the fourth quarter, or you want to try and process it before the end of the fourth quarter?
There's just one item on the progress report, that says payment request this quarter. So if the reimbursement request is submitted before the 30th, then we would put that field on the progress report. If you submit the reimbursement request after the 30th, we would just mark that on the next quarterly report, the Q1 for fiscal year 26.
Okay.
So,
Just out of curiosity, what's the turnaround time then? I'm starting to look towards year end. Just making sure, trying to get as much into this year as possible.
Yeah, it's quick.
Okay. Imagine that this bill will be a little bit bigger than the last ones that we've seen.
Yeah, I would think so, particularly as they bill us for the presentation time, but I don't think that there will be
That'll be in October then.
accepted. Yeah.
Okay. All righty. Okay. We'll figure out timing on our end then on that. Right. Anything else?
No, I think we just following up the exhibit E, I think it was still pending with the new town attorney. Any news on that, Joe or team?
And do we have any news on that? No, sorry, Prab, no news.
No news? Okay.
He's been here for a week, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good. And
We've
then
been onboarding.
Yeah.
perfect. Any other support needs from Dishes or any questions, anything else that the team wanted to raise?
I know, but we'll get Thomas Crouch as the our outside town council, and so he will we'll give him your information if he has any questions as he goes through Exhibit E.
Okay, sounds good. I'll look forward to that. And then last but not least, our next monthly check-in for this is scheduled on October 14th at 10 a.m. Does that time still work for everyone? Hearing no objection, so we'll keep that on the calendar.
I'm just taking a second to double check the calendar.
Oh, my apologies, my apologies.
Not quite as fast as you.
I won't be on the 14th,
Will or won't be.
won't. But I mean, you can certainly continue without me.
Taking a moment to load.
Yeah. Nothing's in your calendar but this meeting.
Yep, that's
ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਅੱਜ
You should be fine, Rob, yeah,
yep.
October 14.
October 14th, 10 a.m. sounds good.
Okay, very good.
All right, well, that's all I had on my end. Thank you so much, town, and team, and I'll look forward to checking in. If anything comes up ahead of that, please feel free to reach out, email, phone call, Teams call, whatever works. I'll be happy to coordinate.
All right, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, next is Jen, your report, circulated it to us.
Great. So you have the written report. I thought today I would focus on two items. First, we do have a new grant award from the Suffolk County Water Quality Protection and Restoration Program for Fresh Pond. That's a $65,000 award, and that will be combined with our state grant that the town already has awarded for $260,000 for a combined total of $320,000 in grant funds towards the pilot phase of that project. So between those two grants, I believe the pilot phase is now fully grant funded. The status of these awards is that Joe and I are working through the contract development process, both with Suffolk County and with New York State. So we're on track to get those, just all the administrative work done so that they can send contracts for the supervisor to sign.
Okay.
Any questions on those?
Yep.
The next item I thought I'd cover is the New York State Department of Transportation's 5310 operating grant program. We did put a lot of work in over the last month or so, working with Kelly and Shelby and the rest of the team to prepare for the DOT audit. The audit meeting was earlier this month and it went very, very well. The auditors were happy with their site visit, their review of the operations at the senior center and with the documentation. There were no deficiencies found in the audit, and they're coming back to us with some recommendations for how to best administer the funds in coordination with some changes that are upcoming at the Department of Transportation. So we're awaiting that additional feedback from them. That the existing award, well, let me back up a little bit. The audit covered two prior awards to the town. The first was the award of the smaller bus that the town operates, and the second is the $140,000 operating grant that the town is currently administering. So that is a 2-year award that should take us through, I believe, to the end of 26 or 27. I'll have to look that up. But the state has now released the next funding opportunity for operating funds. That deadline is November 3rd. So I think we should talk about our approach and a go, no-go decision for reapplying for the operating funds to continue the expanded services that the senior center is providing for the senior population in the town.
What's the match?
It's a 50% match.
No go, we have no money.
No, actually, some of our match can come from AAA funding. That was like one of the
Things on the first round.
that came out of our discussions with the audit team that was in, is that we can look at our total program of senior services, and a lot of what we're doing in other areas can qualify to get us to the 100%. So it does make sense.
And in-kind staff effort too, I believe, can count towards the match as well.
Yeah, so with our volunteer drivers. And also, we discovered we had just been billing for direct hours put in by the drivers, but we can also put in for the gasoline on our, senior fleet of vehicles, as well as repairs, and even just looking at the whole AAA. But if something doesn't get covered there, we can have covered. So I initially would have thought that it's a lot of work for not even utilizing the full availability of funding that we have, but I think continuing it on, I think we are going to be able to. That was take away from our meetings
Who's doing the work between now and November?
to get this grant going. It would be Jen and Kelly.
Yeah, we would just pull together a scope of work and a budget, and I think included in those conversations will be incorporating the changes that were shared with us during the audit to sort of, set up the program moving forward. So there's continuity between the current funding stream and any renewal support that we receive. So it shouldn't be too terrible of a process, and I think it's turning out to be a really beneficial program, especially if we can use the AAA funding as the match.
This is the same 5310, right?
Yes, it's the same 5310. The current 5310 grant that we have is a combination of 50% and 100% funding. So we're taking advantage of some of that too. Going forward, though, the 100% drops away because that was a leftover from ARPA funding that was passed through to the DOT. So that's why it's dropping to 50%.
Exactly. So those were the key items I wanted to highlight for everybody today. If there's questions on any of the other items in the report, I'm happy to have a discussion.
Then I would just add, the grants pending, unfortunately, we were not selected for the Soil and Water Conservation District grant. I just received a rejection letter.
Okay, which is just as well, we're 100% funded with the other, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Thanks, Joe.
Good. Just kind of, if that was submitted back on March 31st, took 5.5 months to get a response. I just always like to kind of point those things out,
Oh, yeah.
just to kind of flag it in our heads.
Yeah, well, we didn't have, we hadn't applied for that in the past, so that was our first go around. Jen, maybe you had experience with that program.
It's a brand new program, first time.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought that one was new.
Jen, are you done? Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Yeah, so on the law enforcement tech grant, as we move forward, there's chatter, and I don't know if you've seen anything about another $50 million becoming available through the state for law enforcement technology.
I haven't, but I can take a look.
Yep. Yeah. So, as we look down the road, and I'm bringing it up in my budget discussions when I meet with the town board, that, we're trying to stay with or move towards body cams. And that's it's basically $50,000 a year for the rest of our lives. So anything we can do to soften that to the taxpayers would be great. And so I just ask that you continue to pay attention to that. We, in our police reform review in 2020, we tried to put that out 5 years, and we're at the end of the 5 years now. So it won't be tax-based funded this year in '26, but I did put I'm continuing to put it on the radar so that if you see anything to kind of pay attention along those lines.
The 50,000, Chief, that you're talking about, is that the data storage requirements?
It's a combination of the cameras. It basically Axon, which is almost a sole vendor, is moving towards a contractual agreement so that they give you the product, the storage, and everything in an annual cost. Anything breaks, we can look at it another way and do an outright purchase and then go to a different method, but it seems to work better with a contractual basis. So, but we can absolutely look at that, but we're not overlooking at it until we have a funding source.
Got it. There may be something to talk about here with regard to an intergovernmental partnership. It's the partnership that I'm aware of. It's not quite ready for prime time yet, but it is geared towards supporting an intergovernmental approach toward the data storage piece.
Great.
That would alleviate that duplicative investment that I think many smaller police departments and larger police departments are faced with in terms of that go forward on, your data storage needs just continue to escalate, each year as you have to maintain all of the old data for whatever the retention period is. So if a intergovernmental partnership on the data sharing, or I should say not sharing, but storage, is of interest, I can loop you in as the project moves forward.
Good.
Great. And I'll also, keep an eye out, of course, for other funding sources as well.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
ADA compliance project update. Justice Hall and PD.
Are we still on schedule for,
October.
I think this one, you were going to do a presentation to the town board,
what was the date?
October 7th, sorry.
October 7th. Okay. We'll be ready. This will dovetail nicely with the discussion today about the
Facilities.
facility
master plan.
master plan.
Yeah.
So our goal at that meeting, Joe, is to provide, again, we talk about what we're trying to accomplish at the PD and then talk about costs to do such a project, right?
PD and
Overview course. So I'm just covering PD now. So on the justice court side, we're going with the current set of plans. Is Pam going to join us in this to present the justice court plan? Because we've already presented the PD plans to the board. We haven't presented the justice court overview to the
That's
board.
right. I think the PD presentation is pretty stale now anyway, so for the sake of the
We
current.
can update it. Yep.
It would be effectively the first time for both.
Okay. So you or Pam's going to present both?
Pam, I think, would be helpful to describe the justice court because the flow pattern, thought process on how that design has landed is very relevant for its scale in particular.
Yep.
Police department, not so relevant,
With that too.
she'll be here anyway, so we're going to do both the same day.
Yeah, so we should,
Yeah.
if she hasn't been put on notice, put her on notice.
Yeah, I haven't notified her, so could you let her know about that October date?
It's going to be first on the agenda.
I will
We
put
can
it-
keep it on.
Yeah, I will put it first if she's coming.
And I think our ask would not be that she make the presentation, just be available to describe it and ask questions, answer questions. Is that right?
Oh, I have zero problem with her making a presentation on Justice Court.
Oh,
I think she can present an overview. I think she can share the mindset of both the justices and the town's perspective on ADA.
that's
We
what I.
can join
that's
in.
what I imagine. The presentation, I suppose, will just be a presentation of the plans,
Yes, that's what I mean.
which we have. Okay.
Okay.
Community Development Block Grant. A reassignment of 20,000 in 2025. I'm not sure that that's the right date.
Can I go back one step?
Sure.
Joe, are you going to do a cost up on the Justice Court also? So we'll have a cost analysis, of overall cost analysis on both projects.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Sorry.
I was hoping that Barbara was going to be here today, just because she's the one who's had the discussions with Suffolk County on the Community Development Block Grant. Just if I can find her email.
I think I might have it.
Is this the same reassignment of the 20 for Goat Hill? I'm lost on it.
I'm off on my years too, just because the way their cycle goes. I thought it was 2025, but I think it's 2024.
2024, you're correct.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Goat Hill one.
it was
But,
on the.
yeah, 2024, but we need to reassign it within 2025.
Right.
Right. Yeah, it was the 2024 funds in the amount of $60,000 will be used for the accessibility of Goat Hill. It says, okay, then the 2025 funds are designated as follows.
The 2024 funds were originally going to be for ADA compliance to PD.
Right.
And then we reassigned.
That's what we reassigned it to Goat Hill.
So how much are you going to end up using at Goat Hill? Because it's designated now for ADA compliance on municipal buildings.
Mhm.
So the question is how much you're going to use there and what does that free us up? How much does it free up? Is it 20,000? Like I wanted to verify that because we're working off of estimates and I don't.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the estimate. The other two people haven't gotten an estimate to me, and I don't think they're going to, so I think it's gonna be part of the, according to Rosemary, I don't need the other two. I mean, I need them, but as long as we attempted it, and they said that it's too far to come. So I'm waiting for the actual estimate from Tom, who we met with.
Mhm.
He had a family thing come up, and I texted him on yesterday, and he was gonna try to get it to me by the end of the day today. So anyway, at his estimate, just at the verbal conversation we had, when the lift part of it's gonna be close to $20,000. But we have to move a door. I mean, I don't think we're gonna use the whole 60, but I mean, she said it can be used for the paving of the parking area up there too.
Right.
And we're gonna utilize it to move the door, which we'll probably do in-house, but, we'll have to still probably buy a door or whatever, so. And if there was anything left, I was gonna try to use it to bring that bathroom up to speed up there too. There's a bathroom in there already, but Rosemary visited the site with me and said, you could use it for updating this bathroom too.
Mhm.
So if we had it, I'd like to use it, but I don't anticipate, I mean, the paving part is not a lot of money for sure. I don't know what the door is gonna cost. I don't think we're gonna exceed the 60. We're not gonna exceed the 60 for sure, but I don't know if if it's gonna be 40 and with everything.
Mhm.
So I mean, it's kind of, I can get a more concrete number for you for sure. I mean,
Let's work up a hard number once we get the quote from.
from him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then that's what I was gonna do, and then ask, because Corzini's coming back to do some more work for me, complete some stuff that he started, so we could have, he could look at that parking area and give me a number to say, this is what we need to pave this. And then I can talk to Ron, and we can get together about new door, materials we need for that door, et cetera.
Yes, let's use the details from the lift quote to finalize the other scope items.
Okay, that's fine. So hopefully I'll have that
Mhm.
in the next day or two
Okay.
from the lift guy.
All right, so then you can close that loop. So if we were to have 20,000 available, it must be used for something ADA compliant within the municipal buildings? Do we have something, another project to designate, or should we wait until you can see if you can incorporate?
I'd rather wait and see if we can incorporate what we can into this place where we're gonna do it. I don't have something right off the top of my head that's an ADA need, other than what we talk about at the Legion and the community center, but that's not gonna be $20,000.
This is 20,000 of excess from the original 60.
Right, yes, yeah. Yeah, so if we can avoid leaving money on the table, I'd like
Right.
to, but we don't have money to go over budget for anything bigger.
I would prefer to work through the Goat Hill scope items
That's what I would like to do too.
to add ADA enhancements if we
Right.
have extra budget there. This would make, the timing would be right to do this in one shot now.
Yeah, I mean, the one good thing about it is you need to do the environmental. I don't know if you've started on that.
No, because we don't have
You're
the
waiting for
scope.
the scope,
Yeah.
yeah. So whatever projects we do, you're gonna have to do an environmental. So if we just
Right.
keep it all to Goat Hill,
Well, that was what I was
then
hoping.
it's just one environmental. We've also gotten the data from the tenant, the Shelter Island Country Club, who's looked at senior population and things like that, which has given the county the information that they need to say that, yes, this qualifies as a project. So we've
Right.
already done that data collection as well. So if we were to move to a different building, we would have to do
A whole over
another
different collection,
environmental and another data collection.
Yeah, that's why I was hoping to keep it all right here, because I think that the things that we've identified, and then addition to the bathroom, which Rosemary brought up,
Mhm.
and then in my looking at it, we could definitely make the improvements in there to do that. You know, so.
All right. Do we want to, once you've got that information, just distribute it back to this committee, to have a short capital planning meeting that would just be this specific to talk about it, or come to a work session instead, just to go over what's going to be happening up there?
Whatever you'd like me to do, or us to do, we could do it. I mean, once I get it, I could present it, or we could email all the information to everybody so you have it. Because I'd want to get, I'm hoping that we can get, we want to do it when he starts closing the restaurant, and then utilize the winter time here to finish this thing up.
Does the committee agree that these funds should be fully utilized at Goat Hill? Because if that's the case, then we can perhaps bypass another review at this committee level and just present for final approval at the town board level. Does that make sense?
Joe, is the VFW hall, the downstairs, are they eligible to use some of this grant money?
They are. We've done other ADA projects there, but they're not currently approved in this grant cycle for work there. I think that's another place we should do work, because there's accessibility issues. That would be in the next, it would make sense to do that in the next subsequent cycle, so that the
We're talking about the 2025.
Well, we have a public hearing coming up at the end of this month on how to utilize community block development grant money. It's an opportunity for the public to come to us to say what they think we should be doing. Generally, there isn't a lot of public input, and so then it comes back to our committee, so that by December 1st, we internally pick out a project.
So their bathrooms there and that whole facility, are they eligible for some of this grant money? Like, I know you're talking about bathrooms at Goat Hill, but I mean, I'm asking, can that grant money be used for the VFW hall?
Yes, but we would have to get approval from the county level, as Amber described, that they would review data like how many seniors frequent the facility, and they would ultimately approve that project for that type of work, which is why I think it would be best. I agree with you, it's a good facility. I think it'd be best suited to make that, say, next in line for work, since we already have the Goat Hill approved. It's just a matter of adding one or two things to fully use the money.
So really, Joe, you're not asking us anything. Either we use it at Goat Hill or we don't use it.
It seems like we've gone.
You're not asking us anything.
Exactly. We've gone so far along the approval line with the county that to move $10,000 or $20,000 would be silly. I think we're incentivized to get as much out of it as possible now. And then again, next year, ask for the same or more money for.
You need a board resolution to utilize it at Goat Hill, so
Yes.
there's nothing for us to do.
Not for this amount of money.
But his point on the community center Legion Hall is good for a project.
Yeah,
Definitely.
We should put that up for
For next year, yeah, probably for the.
discussion. You
Yeah.
said that there's gonna be open discussion coming up.
Yeah, for the 2026.
Oh, well, and I'm gonna have the guys already gonna give me, I'm gonna have them give me a look at what, have them look at this to see what it would do to put it, because that's gonna need an elevator or a lift.
Okay.
The lift guy that's handling the thing at Goat Hill. Because he does both the styles, you know what I mean? Because you're gonna need it. You're not getting in there any other way, really. So we'd have to create the space, but he'd have to look at that, and that's much larger. I mean, just enclosing one of those operations, like even the one that we're doing at Goat Hill, to just enclose it is like another $20,000. So you're like double the cost right away. But, interior wise, if he can do it, so I'm gonna get let him look at it too, just but that would be the first point in getting people in the downstairs. They just renovated their bathrooms there too, but I don't know if they made them ADA compliant, right?
No, we didn't, because the doorway,
Yeah,
it was kind of just like a cosmetic.
right. Yeah, because you have to, those doorways are pretty narrow, you really have to open them up to make it wheelchair accessible and stuff. But that would be I think it's a great place to utilize it, but in the next cycle, I'd rather just get this thing done.
You can't hurt to have them start doing counts now.
They may not need to, because Shelby, we were just sidebar conversation. The county has put us into a low income.
Yeah, it's
is it
like a low to moderate income
Yeah.
map.
Yeah, and for the first time, Shelter Island is actually showing up on it. It starts up on 114 near the corner of West Neck and 114 and goes down Midway. Doesn't include that side of the street. I don't think it
It
includes
doesn't
this side
include
of the street.
but it includes like the community center,
Mhm.
Wade's Beach, Fresh Pond,
So you don't need a use study.
We don't
Right.
need a use study.
because it's
Yeah,
already.
Because it's
part of
now,
that.
yeah.
Doesn't qualify.
We may pop out of it again next year,
Mhm.
so this might be the right year to try and do that. But my concern over there is that's gonna be a much more expensive project, because in
Yeah.
order to get access down there, I think you almost have to like dig out the parking lot in some way to.
Well, yeah, I think,
something.
that's why I want to talk to him. I think you're gonna have to it's gonna have to end up in where the switchback staircase is now. That's up in the front of the building.
Mhm,
Where the door comes in from the side parking lot.
mhm.
It would just be a matter of how they utilize it in there, A lot of those units are contained right within themselves. So whether the motor's underneath or on the top of it.
Mhm.
But yeah, you gotta look at it and see if it's possible. But it's gonna be definitely an undertaking, because even if you're able to do it there, that means you have to take out the staircase.
Mhm.
You're gonna have to fortify the inside of that place too, because that building is old, and it's gonna be much more involved than what we're doing up here, for sure.
I'll use this opportunity to make another plug for the master plan, because programming, assessment of these facilities for uses would be included in that scope of work and help us prioritize these types of enhancements
Mhm.
at facilities, which facilities.
Ken, the blacktop done at Goat Hill, that was all under a grant program?
It will be, well, the blacktop that no, not the blacktop up there, no, came out of my budget.
All the paths and all the
The car paths.
parking and all that stuff?
Yeah, that's come out of my budget.
Okay.
The other stuff, I'm talking about the parking right next door to the building, where it's gravel now.
Right.
That would have to become paved and utilized for handicap parking. At least 2 handicap parking spots. Because right now they only have one, and it's like across the street on a weird turn, and it's not a very great place for it to be used. So if we're gonna have the lift there, it's a spot for them to be able to get a wheelchair or have a smooth surface to get to the lift and up.
We always have to get the project approved before we can start spending any money. So while the past might have helped somewhat of the accessibility, we can't go back
Yeah.
Sorry?
we can't go back in time and have them pay for something that we've already done. It always has to be a project that gets approved
Right.
before we can.
I think the VFW Hall is a good project. I don't think they're complete with all the bathrooms there. I don't think they did all of them yet.
Oh, both are done. I think so.
Upstairs or downstairs?
Downstairs.
They're both like facelift looking nice,
yeah,
but
it's
ADA wise, no, nothing.
Yeah, I haven't been in the ladies' room. One of the thoughts, when there was a joint meeting with the Legion and the Ladies Auxiliary, and we were talking about everything that had been done, the upstairs bathrooms, I believe, are handicap accessible.
They are.
And so the thought was if we did something exterior on the side of the building that could take people from the bottom to the top floor to be able to go in and utilize those bathrooms, if we couldn't do a better renovation downstairs.
That is, though, you go to there, you're downstairs, you go outside to get in an elevator, go upstairs to the bathroom.
No. The talk was doing something that would be internal on both levels.
Oh, got it.
Internal elevator. There's no real way to do an external elevator at the Legion without excavating the whole parking lot. Like you'd have to, I mean, that's the way I look at it, at least. It has to be done
and that was-
in that space and get you up. But that still would be if we're gonna do an elevator and really go after it, then we're making those bathrooms downstairs ADA compliant too.
If you get them downstairs, address
Right.
the bathrooms while you're.
That's what I mean. If we can get them in and down, then we get it
But
back.
someone needs to look at it, because this was just a lot of brainstorming.
Yeah. No, it'll be a project for sure. I mean, a good project, but it'll be a project. It's not gonna be a.
And it'll be a much bigger ask than we normally, I think. Okay. That was it for the agenda. I spoke to Lalota since the last meeting, and his people reached out. There may be some opportunities next spring for police vehicles.
Good.
In the community, whatever they call it. Because it's the CPF, but it's a different CPF. It is the community projects funding. So she said as soon as she has more, receive some guidance on what would be eligible,
Great.
about that. But she said usually in the spring.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
And I asked just a couple of agenda topics on the board session. Yeah, this is,
Okay, so we're closing the meeting. Thank you, everybody.
on the waterways, two topics. Is somebody coming in to speak to them?